I think there's a variety of models. There's fans can pay more for new types of experiences. You've got rights holders who want to differentiate their product from somebody else. I think there's a variety of ways that the money flows in at least the sports business.
I think people will pay more for the larger experience with the bigger, haptics, the bigger experiences that cost more to make. That people are willing to pay for those. I mean, they're already lining up for funny little rides. I saw in London, like lines around the block for a little seat that you could sit in for 5 minutes, right? And they're paying £5 a shot. I mean, we're seeing some monetization, happen already. If you were a parent and you were told, we have this device that when your child's burn bandages, because you've got huge burns on their body, we can give them the goggles for a couple extra dollars and they won't have to take morphine, what would you do?
Well, you're a college professor. Would virtual reality be essential for you in the classroom, or is it meaningless?
Definitely, because I teach online, and I teach, for example, I was teaching at Penn State, the #1 online school. But if I can have kids put on, Oculus Rift or whatever headset and have a more immersive experience, certainly.
I hear a lot of things that you're talking about that sound like they could be solved by game technologies. How do you see gaming technologies impacting VR?
Great question.
Well, we wouldn't be here today without the gaming technologies, but I think that, interestingly, need also is part of this. And when I say need, I think medical, I think education. I think, certainly for me, I think, an informed global citizenry keeps democracy vibrant. I think it's that core and important, right, at its core, that the democracy is dependent on us having good understanding of our world, and VR creates a better understanding. So those needs also drive, and so which one of those are going to really help make us get the kind of technology advances that we need? And I think that, we know the military provides advances. We've always relied on the military for technology, for better or for worse, whatever that means. So I think that as much as I'd love it to all come from the gaming community, I know it's going to come from the military community as well. So because there's been a lot of indication that when you're in VR goggles, it has a really wonderful ability to reduce pain without drugs. Already there's a lot of investment in VR medical. There was also this crazy-ass study where they were trying to use brain-computer interface for paraplegics, and they had them in these robotic devices, and they put on goggles, and they had them try to envision with their mind to operate these robotic attachments. But what they found for every single person who stayed within the program for a year was they actually, by visualizing their own body, there was some physical function was returned. They weren't walking or running again, but they were controlling their bowel movements. They were starting to move their limbs a bit, which meant that they were creating new synapses through the VR, trying to move their own limbs. Now, don't ask me, but I think there's a lot of money in that.
It's a fascinating